let me get this panel started. Last year, as a globe, we've spent $250 billion on AI. So I would request all of you to have a look at your tech spend when you get back. But $250 billion is a very large number. We asked a lot of CIOs and CXOs on what they've seen as return. 60% have gotten nothing other than the spend. There's about 40% who's starting to see some value. And today I actually have, I think, the right tech team here who's in the 40%. And hopefully we'll get to hear from them on what they're doing right in terms of their teams, their organizations, and what they're actually shipping. So let me start with, one of the biggest questions everybody has on their mind. What have we actually shipped? And maybe I will start, Krishna, with you on, what have you shipped in the last 6 months that's exciting for the audience out here?
Okay. Well, I know there are always, it seems like it is also getting polarized, like where people say AI works versus AI does not work. And I saw this batch, yes, AI can work. So I'm in the camp on that side. So please pardon my enthusiasm around that. But a couple of things I will tell you how we approach, because we have the luxury of being a startup and not enough money. So we are constrained, and so we know that how to operate within a constraint. We actually put a goal within the organization that whatever is our 1-year roadmap, we have to finish in 1 quarter. And I can tell you, we are 70% there. And that's what has taught us something very, very interesting in this AI world. And what we could see is that when you are adopting AI, if you sort of keep measuring that from last time, how am I doing, which we typically do in a rear view planning, right? Like last year I did this much, I will do 10% more, 5% more, and all those things. That just does not work with AI, right? And we were able to achieve that because we went through, the entire organization went through you can call it a creative destruction, right? We eliminated sprint planning, we eliminated hierarchies, we dismantled teams, everybody became an IC, everybody is sort of coded. And it was like all hands on deck in a very different form. Because we are chasing that 1 year, because we are a startup, we have to move fast. We know that if we don't move fast, we will not exist. So from that existential fear, we actually look at AI as a tremendous, tremendous tool, which is allowing us to move that fast with extreme constraints. So for us, actually the token spend and all those things doesn't matter that much, right? And while we have put the guardrails, but the time to market that we are gaining is so humongous and so outrageously good, we are okay with that.
Excellent, okay.
Yeah.
I think very much in the space of everyone needs to upskill to AI.
Yeah.
I think the point you made, which is, speed to market, I'm sure we'll hear it from many of the others. But Sudeep, maybe to you, you're in healthcare, where the stakes are quite high on, the product that is shipped can have pretty significant impact. How are you thinking about shipping things? And is this the same metric you're thinking about, speed to market?
No, it's slightly different. When I say AI, and my name is Sudeep, I represent Aster DM Healthcare. We are a chain of hospitals. We have to take our time from curating data. We have a lot of data, but that data is not normalized in normal senses, if I may put it that way. So if I say pure play AI, which was understood as LLMs we were all talking about LLMs about a few quarters ago. It took us 9 to 12 months to create the LLM and perfect it, and then again we failed. So we reached a level of around 92% to 93% accuracy in one part of the country, and we failed miserably when we took it to the other part of the country. And it took us another 5-6 months to figure out what went wrong. So that was pure play LLM. But if I refer back to my AI journey in the organization, it is not just in clinical. We are an enterprise also. So last couple of months has been, apart from those LLMs and those things which are in clinical, we also have a journey which was just curated by the lady before us from Atlas, and wonderful presentation if she's listening. And we are trying to do something similar, completely manual, with the help of AI tools, not in terms of the governance piece, but in terms of percolating AI for productivity amongst various functions within the organization. So we are first enabling, because all of us know that everybody who is smart enough is using AI in some way or the other in the work. I get presentations myself. My legal head is getting proofreads from Claude or somewhere. Most of it is from ChatGPT or Perplexity. So we felt that we should make it more structured. So we are running some trainings. We are running what to do and what you can do. We have identified use cases the way she was mentioning. And then we have said for these use cases, you should use these productivity tool and use them as productivity tools only. And there are certain no's also which we have curated, and it has been very well accepted within the organization. So that has been our journey.
Excellent. No, it's great to hear fintech to healthcare, how the scaling is happening. I think, Samit, I'll go with you next. I loved what we were discussing before we came on stage, the paranoia on how quickly do we get the whole organization into the AI journey. And you've launched quite a few agentic journeys now at scale. What has changed in the engineering organization for you?
Okay. You can hear me? Okay. So I think if I individually ask everybody, is AI made them more productive? Answer is yes, right? Everybody, right? 50%, 80%, 30%, you will get to see all the numbers. At org level, if I ask that question, you will get mixed reactions, right? Somebody will say, yeah, we get to see something, and we are in the journey, we are not looking at ROI and all of those kind of things. But the fundamental difference is organizational productivity is not equal to individual task productivity. Organizational productivity is directly proportional to decision velocity, right? So it is at a design systems level, not at a task level. So when we initially started and we start putting our numbers, just to give you numbers, 82% of our code getting kind of checked in is generated by AI. If you ask my engineers, they will say, feature development velocity is roughly about 45%, right? So those are the numbers. Those are very high numbers. I keep asking them why it is not 100%. But taking that out, right, fundamentally what we observe, right, the human ego, when we talk about, human in the loop, right, when you define a process, there are multiple steps and then you have a human in the loop, right? That fundamentally human ego. If you can take that out, right now we are all thinking about how do I put AI on top of my process flow, right? Suddenly we realize, can I build a process flow around AI? That's the fundamental change that we have done around last 2 years. And that has kind of helped us accelerate at least major product build. If you talk about on the post-sale side of it, where is the customer service side of it, right now 55% of our ticket, or when you call the call centers, is basically AI resolved, right? So that it means there is no second level of interaction is happening or anything like that. If you talk about travel booking, which is basically Myra, if you haven't really played it out, which handles this is probably the first AI agent in travel industry in the world which manages end-to-end travel booking, from your intent to actual checkout and getting a ticket. Right now, 7% of our DAU, Delhi active traffic, is actually flowing through the agent, right? So those are the milestones that we are really looking at it, right? So fundamentally, what has changed in the organization structure itself? One is we were organized around functions, right? When we realized, fundamentally we need to organize around semantics or around network, right? That's because your semantic questions is fundamentally changing from functions to broadly to network. That's how we have changed. And we have built a lot of, guardrails, evaluations at the edge, right? And that means I can take the human out of the loop. Human get in when there is an exception handle rather than human in the loop part of it, right?
Excellent. No, that's some real reorganization of the engineering teams. Maybe Rajesh, I'll come to you. Very different industry. I think you were saying 140 years, seen many ups
Still
and
a
downs.
startup in my mind.
Right. So, how are you seeing this play out? Because yours is a lot of physical AI as well, just not the product shipping elements and software elements that we've been talking about.
Yeah, for us, clearly in the industry space, ABB as a leader for last 140 years, as you mentioned, we also the one first brought the industrial AI 2023 with the generative AI. You talked about what we shipped. We shipped ABB Genix, which is our industrial AI and Copilot. But the opportunity for us on the industries which we serve, which is the energy, manufacturing, utilities, transportation, and all the critical infrastructure, it's humongous because here, from automation to autonomous towards autonomous, every step the customer makes, there's a huge impact on ROI. So that obviously reflects also in terms of how our engineering teams, our R&D teams are driving the innovations. All of a sudden, the personas that are using our products and offerings is completely changing. So the AI is now going to the shop floor and field operations, not only the specialists and the CXOs who are making decisions. So that has changed in terms of in what the value that we bring it to our customers. I will give some examples the next time when you go the second round. But it has also changed the mindset of how we build and provide value to customers. Just for your data point, so when as an overall ABB business of $35 billion, we roughly make about software products about 50%. The rest is on providing solution and services to the customer. Imagine that both efficiency, productivity, and reliability that we bring it to the customers through our engineering innovation can make a big difference for both customers and us. The change for us has been in our organization, AI for people, AI for business value chain, including services, sales excellence, but also AI for customer offerings, all the three. Just on a software engineering side, AI for product management, which is actually defining what we bring the value to customers, AI for how do we build the product, as well as how do we operate. All the three has a transformative impact. So for me, as a company, ABB for 440 years, we always take a percentage of our revenue for R&D. And R&D, today we spend significant amount for AI because we see that is bringing a value for directly the impact to the customers. Yeah.
No, that's great to hear, and I'll come back to you on what has moved from pilots to scale. Sumit, you talk to a large range of CXOs in India, and I think we have a very positive panel here. Everyone's seeing a lot of change, but what are you seeing is keeping enterprises back? When I ask the question on how much people are spending, I think this room is representative of the AI maturity, right? 20% are at it, and I think we have that group on the stage, but a large proportion is not. So give us some thoughts on what's not working.
Sure. Hi, morning everyone. So I guess one of the thing that whenever we are having these boardroom meetings, the CXO presentations, one of the key aspect coming is that we have the data, we have the tech teams, we have the AI, but somehow it is not resonating or not giving us the value proposition, be at a business level or be at an outcome level. So AI is not a problem from our perspective. How we are observing is that problem is not with an AI. Problem is before AI, which is basically the data. Fortunately, unfortunately, from last 2 decades, India enterprise has evolved as a Lego block of systems, where systems started with a warehouse, then we moved to our lakehouse architectures, then in the pandemics, we started off building up the cloud infrastructure, and now we have started getting entry into the agentic. Most of the enterprise, I would not say from the audience on this stage, but most of the enterprise that we interact with, they have a challenge with data not being ready for AI. Their data is primarily built for the purpose of reporting and analytics. And that's where we all have established or understood data that it's in analytics, right? And that's where Salesforce try to bring in a value proposition of bringing everything together. We bring data as a single platform strategy where we have data 360 coming in. It is bringing data, unifying data, bringing all the real-time insights into the same platform. This makes the ground clear for AI to operate. AI can only operate at scale and in, I would say, with full power and a full outcome driven once we have the data, underlying data is being sorted. And that's where the Salesforce value proposition comes in, that we bring data and AI together, where we sort first the data problem and not the AI problem. When we are now discussing with customers, with stakeholders, there are ambitions on the CEO side that we need our organizations to be an agentic organization, while the engineering problem lies with an underlying system. And that's where we are trying to solve it, sitting with the customer, saying that let's not start looking just directly at the agents. Let's first try to solve the data problem. Are you data ready? Is your organization having a right context of the data for agent to operate at scale? And then we are starting off with an agentic conversation. That's how we are seeing the world, and most of the conversations are alluding towards that only, that AI readiness can only be done once we have the data readiness.
What's one big bet you are taking in your engineering organization? You know, one good idea for our group here.
I would answer the question differently.
No,
For
this
us,
is
no,
rapid
no.
fire and she's staring at me. So-
My answer is crisp because for clinical, anything in AI, if you want to develop, there is an SAMD standard which you have to go through. Secondly, we put the use case first and don't put the technology first. So it is never that how do we plan to use AI. It is like how do we plan to solve a problem. And so that's how it is.
Yeah. Krish, one big bet.
One big bet we are taking is that we know that with Claude and all those things coming, 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, most people will forget how to program, okay? They will forget coding. And so that how much of that context we are able to capture, both the code context, design context, and the business context, into and create a IP for the organization, right? Irrespective of the people. That's what we are betting on.
Excellent. Sambit, one big bet.
Yeah, I think we all talk about 2x engineer, 10x engineer. In AI world, it is 100x engineers. Just hold on to your best people because their ability to validate decision and move forward is unmatched.
Great. Sumit, one big bet.
I guess for us at Salesforce, we are helping organizations to build their data foundation strong so that it becomes more contextual for AI to work at scale.
Yeah, for us, it's about building products which are sustainable AI, because AI is also consuming a lot of energy. But how do you also use AI to also optimize energy for data centers, for industries, and so on? That's the biggest bet we are working on as well.
Great. I think I'll go with what Krish said. The number of digital twins that organizations are building for themselves to not forget everything we knew. I think that's a big bet I'm at least seeing. Thank you again, panel. It was a pleasure. And thank you, audience.